In neighboring Manitoba, Ottawa's border security plan is in action a day after Donald Trump hit pause on tariffs in exchange for a clampdown on illegal immigration and fentanyl heading south. CTV's Michael Couteur on the promise and the delivery.
A Canadian border guard shows off a machine that can detect highly toxic drugs. Stopping the flow of fentanyl was the ask from the U.S., but Canada is also focused on results beyond that.
We will keep working until those tariffs are off the table altogether.
Maybe that's possible, and maybe it's not possible.
U.S. President Donald Trump praised his North American neighbors for bolstering the borders, but he warned the reprieve is only temporary.
Well, there's a short-term freeze with Mexico, as you know, and with Canada. But they've agreed to be very, very strong on the border.
In addition to the $1.3 billion already pledged, Canada is adding $200 million to fight organized crime. A senior government source tells CTV News Canadian officials also came up with a new role.
Fentanyl czar, who will serve as the main interlocutor between the Canadian and U.S. governments.
In the last year of tracking, U.S. border agents seized less than 20 kilograms of fentanyl at our shared border. Compare that to 9,500 kilograms seized at the border with Mexico. But for Canada to avoid 25% tariffs permanently, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith believes we need to address other economic irritants.
The digital media tax, the banking industry, telecom, supply management, those keep coming up, but those can only be resolved in the context of a broader renegotiation.
One that could have to happen earlier than 2026, when renegotiations of the Canada-US-Mexico trade agreement are scheduled to start. It's why the federal government is pushing for a Team Canada approach on all fronts.
What we know is the only ones that will be able to convince President Trump are Americans themselves. So we need to continue the pressure to make sure that we lobby Washington.
Those efforts continue, with federal ministers visiting D.C. this week and all premiers doing the same next week. Omar.
All right, Michael Couture in Ottawa.